What the hell does a chicken and egg have to do with business? Well, you might be in the right place to find out today. Hi, Gary Hewitt here, and I'm talking about the chicken and egg challenge. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? And for a lot of businesses these days, because a lot of businesses are now virtual. It used to be you opened up a shop and you had physical location, and just by its presence, it had a certain amount of what's come to be called authority. So in other words, it's real because it's there. People could walk in, they could check out the wares, and they could decide to purchase. Same with a restaurant, similar sort of thing. With virtual businesses and deliverables, especially in the soft market, the humanities, the soft skills, it's a completely different challenge because on the one hand, you set up a shingle and you say, like, I'm in business doing this, and yet you haven't done it yet. So there's this, what authority do they have? What proof do they have? Why would I buy from them? Why would I sign up for their stuff? Why would I do anything with them when they haven't gotten proof of what they do? and that creates a dilemma for the practitioner or the proprietor or whatever name you want to use, in that how do they get past this phase of nobody knows them, nobody likes them, nobody trusts them, nobody's going through their programs, and if nobody goes through their programs, nobody's giving them testimonials, and if nobody's giving them testimonials, nobody's giving them referrals. It makes that initial part really, really difficult. And that's the part where most people either they just discount heavily, or they don't really get off the ground, right? They stay with the low prices, or they do something else to support their business, which is sad because there's some really gifted people out there that should be doing way better, could be doing way better, and I'm trying to help them. So. First things, one of the things is to know how to use, for example, strategically free. When you do something strategically free, you got to make sure that you don't undermine your own price sensitivity or your price awareness. Not quite the right words there, but your brand has a certain cachet, if you will. People selling $97 products are in a completely different category from people selling $997 products, right? So when you do something strategically free for a $97 product, that has a completely different effect from doing something completely free, strategically free for a $997 product. So you want to make sure that, when you do something free, you've got to have a plan behind it. It has got to not erode people's confidence in your skills. And yet you've got to do something to get them in the door so that you get the testimonials. And that's where that whole strategically free plan will help. I've always said step number one is fill the room. You have got to get people listening to you. You've got to get people paying attention to you. And that's literally the phase that I'm in right now. I've got some products that are fairly expensive, but I'm not advertising them yet because we're not in that loop yet. We're still in the early awareness stage. So more on this later. I need to cut the video off before 5 minutes, or else I have to do a lot of work sending it everywhere. So that's it for today. I hope that was helpful. We'll talk about strategically free strategies in a future video. Okay, thanks guys.